Mataji, for inviting us in your home so we can celebrate the welcoming of Srimad Bhagavatam. You're happy?
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
So how many are here for first time Bhagavatam welcoming? And, congratulations. You are equally fortunate to our hosts who are welcoming Srimad Bhagavatam into their house. So I thought we would read from Canto 1, Chapter 9, text number 31. This is from the pastime of the passing away of Bhishmadev. This Bhishmashtami is coming up next week. So in honor of that, I thought we would discuss this. So the verse reads, Vishudaya Dharamanai Hashtubihas Tadikshaya Vashu Gataya Dashamahas Nivritta Sarvendra Vitivai Brahmamas Tushta Vanjanyam Vishajam Janardanam. Translation. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. Thus all the external activities of his senses at once stopped, and he prayed transcendentally to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body. Purport. By his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The material body is a gift of the material energy, technically called illusion. Identification with the material body is due to forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with the Lord. For a pure devotee of the Lord like Bhishmadev, this illusion was at once removed as soon as the Lord arrived. Lord Krishna is like the sun, and the illusory external material energy is like darkness. In the presence of sun, there is no possibility that darkness can stand. Therefore, just on the arrival of Lord Krishna, all material contamination was completely removed, and Bhishmadev was thus able to transcendentally situated by stopping the activities of the impure senses in collaboration with matter. The soul is originally pure, and so also the senses. By material contamination, the senses assume the role of imperfection and impurity. By revival of contact with the Supreme Pure, Lord Krishna, the senses again become freed from the material contaminations. Bhishmadev attained all these transcendental conditions prior to leaving his material body because of the Lord's presence. The Lord is the controller and the benefactor of all living beings. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. He is the supreme eternity and living entity amongst all eternal living beings. He is the supreme eternity and living entity amongst all the eternal living beings. And he alone provides all necessities for all kinds of living beings. Thus he provided all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his great devotee Bhishmadev, who prayed as follows. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Darati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Huta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. Thus all the external activities of his senses at once stopped, and he prayed transcendently to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body. Who is speaking this verse? No. Bhishma Dev is speaking this verse. So, this Srimad Bhagavatam, we know, is most wonderful gift to all of us, to all of humanity. And it is by the unending mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we have come to know the inner contents and meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada began translating Srimad Bhagavatam in 1960 in earnest is when he started. And he put forth extraordinary effort to translate these Srimad Bhagavatams. He was studying the commentary from our prior acharyas, synthesizing all of that and commentaries from all different shastra, and to present the Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, with the purports which we read, to allow us to be able to digest and understand what is the meaning of each and every verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. And most importantly, how to apply the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam in our life. We will know the value of Srimad Bhagavatam only when we apply its teachings. Just like if I have some very rare disease that is causing great difficulty, and after decades and decades and decades of searching for a cure, someone gives me the medicine. That value of the medicine that I've been searching for so long, it will only be realized when I take the medicine. So similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is the great medicine for humanity. And it is experienced and realized when we take its contents, when we apply its teachings. So, Srila Prabhupada's gift to us is that he is explaining to us in very simple terms exactly how we can practically apply the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam in our day-to-day life. We all have different circumstances. We all have different histories. We all have different futures. But in all of our diversity, we are all united by one common feature. We're all struggling in this material world, trying to find our existence. And we all have only one solution, and that is practicing the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada has given us that best gift. And when we see this volume of books, I always ask, what is our great wonder? Huh?
Reading and finish.
How long?
Digesting it.
Digesting it.
How long it's going to take to complete?
How long I'll take to complete this? How anybody is thinking that? I'm thinking, wow, I thought Bhagavatam maybe is one book. Prabhuji calls, he's a good salesman. Because he doesn't tell that it's so many books, this, that, and he doesn't tell that we'll sell, now you must read. He just says, no big gift is coming. Who will say no? Well, Prabhuji is best salesman. So, but we have some concern, right? How I'll ever read. Imagine how much energy Srila Prabhupada put into writing. It took us 1 minute to read this page. How long it would take us to write such a purport? We would edit, write, review, read again, look something up, come back. How much time and energy? Why Srila Prabhupada did that? And not only Srimad Bhagavatam, like this there's a whole other set of scriptures called Chaitanya Charitamrita. Of course, Bhagavad Gita we're reading weekly. And then so many other books. Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, on and on. Krishna books, so many books. Why is so much effort Prabhupada put? Because this contains the recipe for us to find real and permanent success in life. And so we are very grateful to Srila Prabhupada. And I can tell you that Srila Prabhupada's purports, they are like nothing else. And that is not from some biased opinion. When Srila Prabhupada began presenting this first canto in 1960 in India, different scholars all over India became astounded by its presentation. Big professors in universities, big students of Shastra from all different spiritual walks of life. They were universally blown away at the presentation. And they really begged Srila Prabhupada that you finish, you continue now into Canto 2 through Canto 12, because they were so stunned by this presentation. It's never been seen before. Many books have been written, but this thing has never come in this way. And again, this is not the opinion of those inner members. This is the opinion from the broad. And Prabhupada was celebrated for this and widely encouraged to begin reading this. And when you read particularly first canto, the purports are extraordinary. All his purports are amazing. But in the first canto, he pours his heart and soul into the purports because he wrote the purports in one consciousness. He was unclear that he would ever finish all the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he wrote the first canto purports in such a way that if one reads just this first canto, actually they'll get the essence of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. So if this looks like a daunting task, at least make some commitment to finish first canto. And you'll be blown away at how Srila Prabhupada is presenting this knowledge. Very, very powerful. So we're very indebted to Srila Prabhupada. Just as a blind man has been cured by a doctor to see, can that blind man ever fully express his gratitude to that doctor who can now see the world? Similarly, we cannot fully express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, but let us at least try every time we open Srimad Bhagavatam, understand it, and let the best way we can express our gratitude. What is the best way we can express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada?
Reading.
Reading it. By reading it, actually Srila Prabhupada becomes so pleased. So pleased. Because his effort is being reciprocated. And when we please a pure devotee of the Lord, who is guaranteed to be pleased? Krishna. We may not be able to please Krishna, but we can please, for sure, Srila Prabhupada. And by pleasing Srila Prabhupada, by just reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we can guarantee to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Param Satyam, the absolute truth. The absolute truth. So that is our opportunity in having Srimad Bhagavatam. So I congratulate you for bringing Srimad Bhagavatam into your house. It is a great fortune. So Bhishma Dev here is lying how? On a bed of arrows. Actually, it's not a bed of arrows. A bed of arrows implies that he is lying on the tips of the arrows. Actually, all the arrows have fully pierced his body. So he is lying in the middle of the arrows. Comfortable position? No, not a comfortable position. This pastime of Bhishma Dev is very, very instructive for us. And by just understanding this pastime of Bhishma Dev, we get to see the very sweet relationship that exists between Krishna and his devotee. And by studying that, we may be inspired to say how I can become a devotee of Krishna. And in this pastime particularly, we see that we must take knowledge about things we don't know from proper authority. If I want to know what is the origin of this universe, where did I come from? Why am I here? What exists beyond my sight? What holds in the future? I can guess and speculate. But in the end, it'll only be that, a guess. But if you want to know factually, you must approach Shastra through the eyes of Guru Parampara. Because if you don't, we'll draw some conclusions, but they'll be faulty. Just like if we observe the activities of Bhishma Dev, we see some peculiarities, no? What are some of the unusual features of the pastimes of Bhishma Dev in this relation? What did he do? He supported a dharma. He fought on the side of Kauravas. What else did he do?
He sacrificed a kingdom.
He sacrificed a kingdom.
And he didn't get married. He didn't get married.
He didn't get married. He was a brahmachari. But those are good natures. But what he did on the battlefield?
He was a dharma side,
He was on the adharma side,
fighting against the Supreme Personality.
fighting against
Krishna.
Krishna. In the next verse, or two verses, he says that, this is Bhishma Dev speaking, that he says, all these decorations intensified the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. What does that mean? Bhishma Dev was shooting arrows at Krishna. How Bhishma Dev could shoot arrows at Krishna? Who is Bhishma Dev trying to kill on the battlefield? Before Supreme Godhead? He took a vow that I'll kill who? Arjun. He said, I will take a vow that either I'll kill Arjun or I will make Krishna break his vow. So he fought on the sides of Kauravas. He shot arrows at Krishna. He tried to kill Arjuna. He wanted to break the vow of Krishna. Sounds like devotional qualities. These are pure devotional principles? Huh? No? Yes, they are. These are the activities of a pure devotee, of a Mahajan, like Bhishma Dev. Now y'all are thinking, this man has gone crazy. That is true also. But let us see how these statements are true. And let us convince ourselves that if we try to draw conclusions from our own logic, we will be wrong. We just drew conclusions from our own logic, right? That Bhishma Dev is doing adharmic principles, right? We're convinced? Okay. And the point of this exercise is not to embarrass us in our faults. It is to simply get us to surrender to Srimad Bhagavatam and hear it through the words of our acharyas. Because then we'll understand its real meaning. So we will be bewildered if we try to apply our own understanding in spiritual life. So Srimad Bhagavatam has come to save all of us. Now, Bhishma Dev is lying on these arrows, pierced his body. We can conclude not in a comfortable position, not like this nice bed that is here. No? Okay. And who has come to see him?
Krishna.
Krishna. How fortunate is Bhishma Dev that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has come to see him in this very difficult time of his life. How many of us would like to have Krishna come see us? All of you? Krishna has come to see you. How? Through Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Book Bhagavatam and person Bhagavatam are one in the same potency. How fortunate you are that Srimad Bhagavatam has come. As fortunate as Krishna, as Bhishma Dev was to receive Krishna on the battlefield, the same fortune we all have. And how will we recognize this fortune? When we open and read Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the only way we will actually recognize it. But we are just as fortunate as the great Mahajan. There are 12 Mahajans in the history of humanity. 12. And Krishna came to see Bhishma Dev. That same fortune we have. How can we quantify or understand our great fortune? And why we are so fortunate? Only by the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Mahavadanaya, most merciful. Despite all of our misqualifications, so kind. So, for anyone who does not have Srimad Bhagavatam, if you desire now, it will happen. And if you like, we will arrange and bring Srimad Bhagavatam to your home. And if you really want, this is no exaggeration, we'll bring it tonight. Because none of us can guarantee tomorrow. So we should not wait. We should not delay even a moment. Even if you get up right now and leave and go get, I'll be most happy. I won't be offended. That urgency we should pursue Srimad Bhagavatam. Bring it into our home. Bring Krishna into our home. And realize its value by reading it. As Prabhuji and Mataji have done very intelligently. And I pray that all of us will do that same. So if you like to have Srimad Bhagavatam, please at least desire. And if that desire manifests strongly, make it happen and we'll do it with you. Because tomorrow may never come. We don't know. So Bhishma Dev had this great fortune. Now let us peel apart the different aspects of this relationship. So Prabhupada ends his purport by saying, thus he provided all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his great devotee Bhishma Dev, who prayed as follows. So he, meaning Krishna, provided all the facilities to fulfill the desires of Bhishma Dev. Now, the relationship between Krishna and his devotees, it's so sweet, so beautiful, that when one understands this relationship, only one feeling starts to manifest in the heart, and that is, I want to become also Krishna's devotee. And that's what we will experience as we read Srimad Bhagavatam. So reading just this 9th chapter, we'll hear a very sweet exchange between Bhishma Dev and his devotees. Now, Bhishma Dev is in a very difficult situation. Right? Very painful situation. Right? And he at once became free from all material inauspiciousness. This is Bhishma Dev speaking. How? How did he become free of all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds? How? Some good painkillers? Good doctor came, removed the arrows, sewed him up nicely?
By seeing Krishna.
By seeing Krishna. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Shri Krishna. He, at once, not in some time, not after much effort, at once was freed from all, not some, most, but all material inauspiciousness and relieved of all bodily pains. How many would like to rid all inauspicious things for us in our life? We all want it. And how to do it? It is by bringing Krishna into our life. We have been trying for millions of lifetimes to become free of inauspiciousness, to become free of difficulties and suffering. But have we succeeded? Anybody finds no setbacks, no difficulties, no stress, anxiety, fear, problems? No? Nobody? Just making sure. And let me ask, anybody woke up today wanting to be unhappy? Oh, no. Every day we wake up with the same goal. How to be fully happy? And every day at the end, we end up with the same outcome. Some happiness and some, and often many, setbacks. So what's the solution? The solution, Prabhupada says, Lord Krishna is like the sun. An illusion, and the illusory material energy is like darkness. When the sun is present, can there be darkness? Actually, scientists will tell you there is no such thing as darkness. There's only absence of light. That's how they actually scientifically define darkness, is the absence of light. So when there is sun, there is, by definition, the analogy Prabhupada is using is that when Krishna is there, what disappears? Ignorance. This illusory energy. So what illusion are we in? Let me ask you all. Are you in illusion? How many of you drove your car here? All of you drove your vehicles here? If I ask you, are you your car? Are you your car? Huh? Where is your car? Outside. And where are you? Here. There's no illusion, right? You are not your car. It's foolish. Why is this foolish person asking such foolish questions, you might be wondering? So that is, we are not in that illusion, right? But we are in actually a deeper illusion. And that illusion is, I think I am this body. Because you know you are not your car, when you are making decisions starting from morning about wanting to give happiness, are you thinking to give happiness to yourself or to your car? Never any confusion? Always I'm not thinking how I'll give happiness to my car. That's foolish, right? I think how I'll give happiness to myself. So that illusion is clear. But the bigger illusion we are in is every day I wake up and I think I want to give myself some happiness. But unfortunately, I have confused that I am this body. I think I am this body. But in fact, I am not this body. I am soul. Spirit, soul. Just like that car is dead matter. It is just sitting there. Until we go inside of it and start driving it, it will just stay. It needs a driver to move that car. This body is nothing but a vehicle. It is made up of earth, air, fire, water, and ether. It is dead matter. But what is giving this body life? The soul. The soul is the driver within this vehicle. But we all laugh at, no, I am not the car. The car is there. I am here. But we make this main mistake, thinking that I am this body. This body is constantly changing. This body I might have another 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 100 years. But at some point I know I will lose this body. But I know I will still exist. So I know I am not this body. But the illusion I am in is that I am acting for what is good for this body. But I am not acting for what is good for me. That's as foolish as waking up in the morning and thinking, what will give my car happiness, and ignoring me. But in fact, due to illusion of the material energy, I forget that I am spirit soul. I am not this body. And that is why we find this inauspiciousness, this difficulty in life. It is 100% centered on this fact only. As soon as I understand and act in this knowledge that I am spirit soul, and I begin to wake up every day thinking and remembering what is going to give my soul happiness, then actually I'll experience happiness. Because the car never experiences happiness. The driver within experiences happiness. Similarly, this body does not experience anything. It is matter. So, when we bring Krishna into our life, then that is the sun, the light, for us to see that I am not spirit soul. I am not body. I am spirit soul. And with this clarity of vision, I then know how to make really, really good decisions that will bring about the goal I have. What is the goal we have every day we wake up?
Happy.
To be happy. That's it. And how to find it? By bringing Krishna into our life. It's the only way. And so Bhishma Dev says, by pure meditation, looking at Krishna, at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness. So this is the means. By bringing Krishna into our life, it is the only means. And how to bring Krishna into our life? This is contained within Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, every Friday or Saturday, we get together and we discuss and teach how to practice spiritual life. Because spiritual life is not about some sentimental activities we do. It is about consciousness that permeates our whole life in a way that is very practical and achievable for everyone. It is not theory. It is practical application. So, let us now understand. We all interpreted Bhishma Dev's activities, right? And we said they were not activities of a pure devotee, right? Ready to be, all of us to be proven wrong by the power of Shastra? Yes. So, Bhishma Dev's activities are on the utmost pure platform. And how do we know that? We know that by Krishna's words, but by also Krishna's actions. The first action he did shows how Krishna reciprocates with his devotees. When we say that we should worship Krishna, our ego leads us to wonder, why we have to worship God? Why can't I just do my own thing? And we think that God gets to enjoy and I'm here left to suffer. Actually, Krishna is always looking to glorify and show favor to his devotees. The devotee has only one goal, to please Krishna. And Krishna has only one goal, to please his devotees. It is a two-way street of love. Not a one-way exchange, but a two-way street. So Yudhishthira Maharaj at the end of the battle of Kurukshetra was very disturbed. Seeing all the slain men on the battlefield, he is lamenting, what was the value of this battle? What is the value of this kingdom I have won? Seeing the blood that had been spilled to get it. And he was feeling very unmotivated and very lethargic, not wanting to rule the kingdom that he had just won. So Krishna decided to do two things. One, he wanted to set Yudhishthira Maharaj's consciousness straight. But in doing so, he wanted to also glorify Bhishma Dev. Because Krishna could have spoken to Yudhishthira Maharaj, just as he spoke to Arjuna, and set Arjuna straight. Said, Arjuna, you fight the war, and this is why. And Arjuna was fully convinced to even fight against his relatives. That perfect was the science and knowledge that Krishna gave. So he could have clearly done it himself. But he wanted to glorify his devotee Bhishma Dev. So he brings Yudhishthira Maharaj to this battlefield where Bhishma Dev is lying in this very precarious position. Now when any of us have any difficulty, maybe some extreme difficulty, are we in the mood? Are we very happy? Or are we grumpy? Right? We're not in a very good state of mind. Our intelligence is bewildered. Our thoughts are swirling. Right? So Krishna is showing to Yudhishthira Maharaj, see how the great Bhishma Dev, in this very difficult position, is in such a peaceful state. So composed. And even in this state, he is showing this mood of humility and great consciousness. So to glorify his devotee, Krishna brings the Pandavas to see Bhishma Dev in this place. To see, even in this condition, how strong my devotees are. He asked Bhishma Dev, so many great sages. If I read them to you, it will take us another 10 minutes, but they're described in the beginning of this chapter. All great rishis, munis, great personalities came to see this event. And in the midst of that, Krishna asked Bhishma Dev to instruct the Pandavas, specifically Yudhishthira Maharaj. Again, to glorify his devotee. Devotee only enjoys glorifying Krishna. And Krishna enjoys glorifying his devotees. So this is the first understanding. How great Bhishma Dev is, we can see by this action of Krishna. So now we said that Bhishma Dev fought on the side of adharma. How we can glorify that? We know we should follow dharma. How we can glorify that? So why Bhishma Dev did this? Bhishma Dev knew that if he fought on the side of the Pandavas, the foolish would think that the Pandavas were benefited by Bhishma Dev's prowess. So to show and to prove that Krishna is never defeated, he fought on the side of the Kauravas. To show that even if the indefeatable Bhishma Dev was there, even he would be defeated by Krishna. So to glorify the position of Krishna, he took this position and took the sacrifice of his reputation. See, he was not calculating, what will people in the future think of me because I am taking the position of the adharmics. He was not caring about his own reputation. He was simply interested in glorifying Krishna. So to prove that Krishna is never defeated, he fought on the side of the Kauravas. Again, our initial read was this was not a good action. Actually, it was done to glorify Krishna. Now, he takes a vow to kill Arjun, or to make Krishna pick up a weapon and fight, to break his word. Because we know Krishna had promised, I'll give you my army on one side and me on the other, but I will not fight. On this day, Bhishma Dev said, now why? Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was chastising him, saying, Duryodhana was chastising Bhishma Dev, saying, hey, you are not fighting so valiantly. You are being soft-hearted for your affinity. Now, Bhishma Dev is tolerating the arrows piercing his body with such extraordinary strength. He could tolerate that and become composed. Do we think he could not tolerate a few ridiculous words by Duryodhana saying he was soft-hearted? Of course he could tolerate. But why then he made this vow? It was not in reaction to the insult from Duryodhana. That was nothing. He said, I want to show the greatness of Krishna on this battlefield. Now that is interesting. How he's going to show the greatness of Krishna? So he starts attacking Arjuna very ferociously and is about to kill him. Why? Because he wants to show that Krishna will even break his own word to save his devotee. His love for his devotees is unbreakable. So to show that to all of us, Bhishma Dev began to attack Arjuna. To show that Krishna will even sacrifice everything for his devotee. His devotees will sacrifice everything for Krishna. But Krishna sacrifices everything back for his devotee. So in this way, he begins to... Now, Krishna, when Arjuna is being attacked, he could have defeated Bhishma Dev without breaking his word. He could have simply put a shield. He's a supreme controller. He could have just, and all the arrows that Bhishma Dev was shooting would have flown away. So he could have protected Arjuna to show and accomplish Bhishma Dev's objective. But why Krishna picked up a weapon and charged at Bhishma Dev? Why?
Desire of Bhishma.
Because Krishna wanted to uphold the word of Bhishma Dev. Because Bhishma Dev said, either I will kill Arjuna or I will make Krishna pick up a weapon and fight. Now Krishna could have stopped and protected Arjuna without picking up a weapon. But again, Krishna, if he has a choice between his honor and his word or upholding the word of his devotee, which is he going to choose? And his devotee says, if it is up to my comfort or Krishna's comfort, whose comfort I will see first? Krishna's. It is a two-way street. So to uphold the word of Bhishma Dev, he went and picked up a wheel of the chariot and he attacked Bhishma Dev. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur speaks in a commentary on this, that when Bhishma Dev is shooting arrows, we see that the arrows are hitting Krishna. But actually, because they are coming from the pure devotee, Bhishma Dev, they are like flowers being thrown on the Lord. It was a sign of... Bhishma Dev also was getting a very unique darshan of Krishna in this very ferocious mood. Because when Krishna is in Vrindavan and he's fighting with the demons, he's just playing. Only a devotee can invoke the emotions of Krishna. Only the devotee can. Demons cannot. That is just like side activities. But Bhishma Dev wanted to see this special rasa of Krishna's like fury. It is also a very beautiful darshan. One I don't recommend we see, but one that he wanted to see. So that also comes. So the takeaway from this are a couple of fold. One, when we evaluated Bhishma Dev's activities, were we right? Were we correct? Initially? We should be very careful that our mind, our interpretation of things, they'll be contaminated. Just like if I'm looking through glasses that are fuzzy, everything I see is fuzzy. But is everything fuzzy? No. Because the lens I'm looking through is fuzzy. Because our heart is still in a purifying mood We still have some pride, some envy, some greed, illusion in the heart. It's natural. What we see will be confused. But if we see these activities through the eyes of the pure devotee, ones whose lenses are not dirty, then we'll see it properly. So when we see these activities through the eyes of our acharyas and how it is presented here in Srimad Bhagavatam, then we'll get the real meaning. And now that we see Bhishma Dev's activities, how do we think? Wonderful devotee or questionable activities? Amazing. And how the relationship exists between Krishna and his pure devotees. So sweet. And that relationship, that reciprocation that Bhishma Dev experienced with Krishna, that is accessible and the opportunity each and every one of us have. We may think, okay, Bhishma Dev could experience such rasa. But actually, every living entity, being the child, we are all children of Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham bija pradaha pita. He says, Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanama. That every living entity, we are Krishna's eternal fragmental parts. So Krishna loves Bhishma Dev, no doubt. But he also loves each and every one of us, no less. A father who has 100 children, does he love any child more than the other? He loves them all. Now we think, because we are limited, how Krishna can love everybody, right? If I can only have relationships with so many people, right? Because after that, I have to give up my time with this person to be with that person. Or to give time to this person, then I have to give up time with this person. Like that, I have to exchange, no? So I'm limited. But Krishna is unlimited. He has a deep personal relationship with everybody because he is unlimited. The only example we have to try to understand unlimited, even this is limited, but just to get an example of unlimited, is the sun. The sun is emanating endless amounts of light. But is the sun ever becoming smaller and smaller and smaller? No. So like that, Krishna is emanating endless and endless amounts of love. But he is never reduced. 1 minus 1 for him is still 1. We are reduced. But Krishna is unlimited. So this relationship that Bhishma Dev had with Krishna, it is also accessible to us. How? We must follow the process of bhakti. When we bring Krishna into our life, when we remove this illusion that I am this car or I am this body, and start making our decisions in life with the understanding I am spirit soul. In the presence of Krishna, all that darkness will be dissipated. But we have to bring Krishna into our life. We have brought Srimad Bhagavatam into our home. But we must bring Krishna through Srimad Bhagavatam into our heart. So this is the first great step. And now, by daily reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, applying the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, relishing Srimad Bhagavatam, one was guaranteed to remove all inauspiciousness, all difficulties. Because whatever difficulties we face, they are minor compared to what Bhishma Dev was facing. Lying on a bed of arrows, pierced in this condition. So we can have great faith. And you can hopefully, if you are inspired, continue reading this chapter. Very, very beautiful prayers by Bhishma Dev. And then he leaves his body because he had the gift that he could choose when he was going to depart from this world. And a great devotee knows that this world is simply a temporary destination. But our real home is back home, back to Godhead. And by reconnecting with Krishna, Antakale Chamam Meva, that one can attain back home, back to Godhead. And the principal activity that we'll perform, that we hope to become inspired by through Srimad Bhagavatam, is through chanting of the holy names. It is by this chanting process that one can find real perfection of life. If we want to nourish the soul every day, just like we nourish the body every day, that reconnecting with the Supreme Lord, it is done through this chanting process. So if nothing else, please start chanting every day. Every day. Even just 10 minutes, it will change your life forever. And that is what Srimad Bhagavatam will guide us to. So I hope whoever does not have Srimad Bhagavatam will bring Srimad Bhagavatam home even tonight and have the same fortune that Bhishma Dev had of Krishna coming to see him. Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is coming in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam if we bring it into our home and open and start to read it. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Srimad Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Any comments, questions? Some discussion?
Why Bhishma is called Bhishma Dev? Dev is kind of a interposition or something.
His birth name was Devavrata, but he is given this name because of his position, and he is one of the 12 Mahajans. So he was given this glorified name. There must be some further history. I'm not familiar with it, but there must be some history.
Very interesting question. We have so many books. Do we have an audio version of it?
Yeah, there is an audio narration of the verses.
Okay.
That is good, but we should read some also. The reason being is when we read, our absorption is more deeper. So, and when I say read, our worry should not be how I'll finish. Our worry should simply be, will I read today? Read just 1 minute. If you, one page, it's 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Just do that. And you will finish it, not in, let's say, its entirety, but in the meaning of bringing Srimad Bhagavatam into our heart. So, and you may worry, I'll read and I'm not understanding what I'm reading. Don't worry. Just keep reading. And as the heart purifies, that knowledge will be revealed. But yes, there is an audio version, and so you can hear it. And that is also nice while you're driving, while you're cooking, doing activities. That is also really powerful. But in that activity, our concentration is mixed, which is natural, right? I'm driving, so I'm also concentrating on the road, hopefully. At the same time, I'm hearing. If I'm doing while cooking, hopefully I'm concentrating on cooking. So our concentration, so that is good, but we should spend at least 1 or 2 minutes just concentrated reading. If we do, it will be really, really powerful. So yes, there is an audio version. Also take the reading it. The reward is incalculable. Krishna is like that. We take one step to him, he takes thousands of steps to us. It is not even a one-to-one relationship. Any other comments, questions?
Why did he shoot so many arrows? Why did Arjuna shoot so many arrows? He could have just 1 or 2 arrows. Is it the anger or whatever?
Who shot who?
Arjuna shot so many arrows. He made a bed of arrows. So is it any anger or it's just...
No, that is the pastime that Krishna is the author, the script. He wrote the script according to how it would glorify. Because if we shot 1 arrow, we would think, oh, Bhishma Dev only had 1 arrow. How great of a character he is. To show Bhishma Dev's complete greatness, he scripted this.
To nourish the body, we have to take food, right? But for the soul, it is only through chanting, any other process.
That's a good question. So to nourish the body, we know we have to feed it, we have to bathe it, we decorate it, we take it to see nice things. We know everything about how to nourish the body. So we know how to take care of the car, but we have forgotten how to take care of us. Right? So how to take care of us. So there are 4 main nourishing activities for us. A, B, C, D. A? Association. So association amongst devotees. What does that do? That gives us inspiration. Right? Prabhupada was once asked, if I want to be a good devotee, how to do so? And Prabhupada simply said, if you want to be a drunkard, associate with drunkards. And if you want to be a devotee, associate with devotees. That's simple. B? Books. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita through books. C? Chanting. Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In the Brihanaradiya Puran, it says, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nashta Eva, Gatir Anyatha. That in this age of Kali Yuga, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Nashta Eva. Then, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. Chanting of the holy names, chanting of the holy names, chanting of the holy names. Why do we have to say something 3 times? Only mothers know this. Child listens when we say it the first time. We are like children. So it says, in this age of Kali Yuga, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than chanting of the holy names, chanting of the holy names, chanting of the holy names. And you know what the most common question I get? Is there any other thing besides chanting? So the answer is, Nashta Eva, Nashta Eva, Nashta Eva. So there is no other way. This chanting is so powerful. It is so potent. Krishna has put all of his transcendental energies into his holy names. Nitya Sarva Shaktis. It's so potent that we often make one mistake. We minimize its value. We think it can't be this powerful. So of all the things we do, this chanting is like most important. It is the center of everything we do. Even our reading should be done in such a way that our chanting becomes enthused. So this is the most important. And then D is prasadam, diet. We should honor Krishna prasadam 24/7. So these 4 ways, this is the main way we nourish the soul. Association, books, chanting, and diet. This is our great opportunity. Okay? Any other? Yes.
So Arjuna and Bhishma, both of them are pure devotees of the Lord, but they took different sides, right? So likewise, even people are doing many wrong things in their life, maybe heinous crimes or some bad karmas. So they also will be that means get rid of all this bad karma at once when they get into the path of Krishna consciousness.
Sarva dharman prityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Krishna says, one who surrenders unto me, abandoning all varieties of religion, surrenders only unto me, I deliver them from all sinful reactions. Aham tvam sarva. Sarva means all. Pap. All sinful reactions. And then he gives the assurance. Ma suchaha. Do not fear. So when Krishna is there, all darkness is dissipated. But Krishna is not a license to then do sin. Oh, Krishna says, Aham Tvam Sarva, I can go sin and then they took it. No, that doesn't work that way. All past sins, yes. But knowing on the strength of chanting the holy name, one commits sinful activities. That can never be overcome. But yes, even one doing the most heinous and most degraded of activities can be uplifted. And many examples we have. Jagai and Madai, Magari the hunter, and even in current day, Srila Prabhupada, when he started his movement, he was just preaching to the most sinful of people. And he turned them into pure Vaishnavas. So we have modern day realization and historical. But this is the power of bhakti. So powerful, no matter where we start. But one must be very careful, not thinking, oh, I can now go and commit offenses because Krishna will relieve me. No. Just like in the home, a child makes some mistakes, he begs forgiveness for father. Father forgives. But now child knowingly goes and makes mistakes, knowing father will forgive. Father will forgive? So Krishna plays the same role. He's eager to relieve all of us from our past sins. Very eager. And the process is simple. But we make it complicated because of the impurities in the heart. We make it complicated. Otherwise, it's simply sarva dharma prityaja mam ekam sharanam. Just surrender to Krishna. It's okay. Any other questions? Comments?
Prabhuji, the follow-up question. So, we are nourishing the soul, right? The first important thing nourish the soul to go back to the Godhead or to remove the difficulties for happiness or remove the anarthas. Which is the best thing will happen in our life when we nourish with the ABCD?
So, the best thing we can accomplish in life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that is to awaken our Krishna prema, our love of Krishna. That is the greatest of all accomplishments. And actually, this Krishna prema, it is lying dormant in our heart. We once had it, and we have subdued it through the material conditioning. So this love of Krishna is eternally residing within our heart, but it is dormant. But that is the greatest of one can achieve. But for most of us, when we say that, we think, oh, that's okay, but I need this, this, and this. So, in our developing consciousness, in the beginning stages, we are practicing spiritual life, yes, for some motive, some relief of difficulties, some removal of obstacles. But as our consciousness purifies, we learn to realize actually my real happiness comes from Krishna's happiness. That is the ultimate realization. Right now I want my happiness. And so I work for my happiness. But actually what we'll see as one goes, Bhishma Dev, was he looking for his happiness? Was he looking for his fame? For his character? What was he wanting to do in all of his activities? Glorify Krishna. And what was Krishna doing? Looking for, yes, give me all the fame, give me all the glorification? What did he want?
He wants devotees to be loved.
So in the initial stages of bhakti, yes, we have some selfish motive. It's called mixed bhakti. It is natural. But as we progress, we'll see. Actually, higher than even that, one doesn't even want their own happiness. Simply, my happiness is from Krishna's happiness. This is pure bhakti. Anyabilashita shunyam gyanakamari navatam anukulyena Krishna nushilnam bhaktir uttama. Highest bhakti. Not even a single material desire. But we have to get there. So we start chanting, purifying the heart. And that will bring us to the ultimate goal of pure bhakti. And the irony is, but we can understand this. Let me give us a relatable analogy. Child in a home is doing some cleaning in the home. And child is doing cleaning in the home and says, Mother, if I clean in this home, will you give me ice cream? Mother says, okay, fine. So child cleans. And mother gives ice cream. That is nice, right? Now, child is doing some cleaning in a home with no expectation of anything. Now, what does mother give to child? More or less?
More.
Many times more. When we serve Krishna with no expectation in return, He gives many, many more times than what we can even conceive to ask for. If I go to Krishna and ask Him for something, okay, He's pleased. Just like mother is pleased, child at least is doing something. But what really pleases Krishna is when we go and do with no expectation. Then Krishna gives even more. And let me take the example one step further. We go to Krishna and ask for so many things. Give me this, give me that, give me this. Right? But in the home, if you ask child, those who come to my class, I use this example all the time. In the home, child, you give option 5 chocolates or 5 diamonds. What child will take? We are like children asking for chocolates from Lord. Krishna can give something so much better than what we are asking for. We are asking for $1 billion, extra BMW in the driveway, big home, promotion, this. That is like chocolates. When Krishna can actually give us purity of heart, peace of mind, eternal happiness. So what does the intelligent devotee do? They go to Krishna and say, Krishna, I am full number one, I am childlike. You give me what you think is best for me. Because you know more. That's actually when we win. So that is the scenario. Just like child in the home. So the more we just serve Krishna without any motive, any desire, actually the more we gain. And we should recognize we actually don't know what to ask of Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam, its beauty is, this comes from my mother. She always used to tell me, Bhagavatam is so amazing because it is a book of prayers. So many wonderful prayers. And when we see the great devotees, what they pray for, we this devotee is praying to have millions of ears, like Prithu Maharaj, so he can hear the pastimes of Krishna. I am praying for millions of dollars. What is wrong with me? Right? So if somebody more knowledgeable, I think maybe I should pray in that. And I say, why one would pray for millions of years? And by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we actually understand how to actually pray to the Lord. So this is the practical teaching. So the best we can achieve is Krishna prema. But in the beginning stages, our inspiration often becomes some personal motive. But as that personal motive surrenders to whatever pleases Krishna, that is the highest. And we have a practical example of child in the home. It's okay?
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Good questions. Nice discussion.
Guruji, what's the reason why Bhishma Dev left his life after some time, maybe Uttarayana or whatever? What's the reason? What's the auspicious time?
What's auspicious?
Yeah, about it.
What was auspicious? Krishna came. He just said, all inauspiciousness is removed. Why? Not because it's Uttarayana. Why? Because Krishna came. It happened to be on the Uttarayan day. But what was actually auspicious? Krishna had come. He says right in this verse, right? Just read. He says, all inauspiciousness, I'll just quote it so we have exact thing. At once was freed from all material inauspiciousness. From what? Looking at Sri Krishna. What else he could want? So he prays in the coming prayers. He says, let me leave my body looking at your lotus feet, absorbed in thoughts of you. He didn't say, let me leave at the auspicious time when the sun is moving into the north. That was happening by nature. But what was the real auspiciousness? Krishna was there. And what was the opportunity for him to forget Krishna? None. That was what was auspicious. And that's why he is a Mahajan. Because he chose to leave then. Intelligent. If we had the power to leave when we want, when we would leave? Never. We are foolish. Who would not leave economy class to go to business class? We are stuck in this material world in a jail cell. But we think, let me make a comfortable jail cell. So we'll not leave. But a Mahajan who has his power knows, let me leave at the time when I can remember Krishna. Yam yam papi smaram bhavam tajadate kalevaram. Krishna says, whatever you remember at the time of death, that you achieve. So Bhishmadev left seeing Krishna so he could achieve Krishna. Krishna Loka. So that was his auspiciousness. That was the moment that was auspicious. Wherever there is Krishna, there is auspiciousness. There is nothing inauspicious. Because again, he is light. How there can be darkness where there is light? All other circumstances may be. Krishna appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during an eclipse. We think lunar eclipse, that is inauspicious. But when Krishna appears, it is fully auspicious. Any other comments, questions?
So the basic question is out of this. See, there is a sloka Maya Bharate Maya. So the Maya is an external potence of Krishna. So Krishna created this external potence of Maya to be separated from him. So what was the reason? Because of our previous anarthas?
Icha Dvesha. We had a desire to be separate from Krishna. So Krishna fulfilled that desire. But we cannot be separated from Krishna in reality. Because everything we interact with, the whole material world, is also Krishna's energy. His apara shakti. 7th chapter of Bhagavatam, Krishna says that everything is either my para or apara shakti. So we can never factually be separated from Krishna. But we want it to be. So Krishna has to bring out this illusory energy, Maya Devi, to give us the impression we are separated from Krishna. So who invoked Maya Devi's presence in our life? We did. That's why Krishna says, Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Vaidurata. Then he says, Evam Ye Prapadyante. That if you surrender to him, Mayam Etam Taranti. At once it goes away. Because we manifested ourselves to be an illusion. And by we surrendering to Krishna, easily we can overcome. So we should not blame Maya Devi for our illusion. We should pull out the mirror. And then take the principles of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. But that is why. Krishna did not want us to be an illusion. But we want it. And Krishna always will fulfill our desire. That is the loving nature of Krishna. So the smartest thing to do is to go to Krishna and say, I am foolish. I don't know what to desire. My only desire is, you guide my desire. That is the best. Just as a child says to mother and father, I don't know what's best for me, you do what's best for me. That child actually prospers. Child who thinks they know best, we are like children thinking we know best. Actually, Krishna knows what's best for us. And Krishna tells us what's best for us through Guru. That is why Guru in our life is essential in the practice. Because we don't know what's best for us. So Krishna manifests Guru Tattva to teach us his practice of devotional life. Okay? Shall we chant?
Yes.
Since it's getting late. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So now we'll chant. Yes. You can.